Welcome to the LawyerFair.co.uk daily podcast. LawyerFair helps businesses find the right lawyer at the fairest price. But on this podcast, we just chew the fat with some great guests.
It is indeed the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. And to those of you who scoff and think that we record these in a cluster and not on a daily basis, I am recording this on Tuesday the 6th of October. There are grey clouds accumulating around me on the banks of the River Thames. But thank goodness our daily bout of great guests brings to us a little bit of sunshine. And I'm including very much the lady who's joining us today. That is Juliet Turnbull. Welcome, Juliet.
Hello.
I know that you're having one or two child illness issues around you, so you're perhaps not feeling so sunny this morning, but thank you still for joining us. And Juliet is the founder and CEO of 2to3days.com, which is essentially, Juliet, explain to me exactly what it does.
2to3days.com is an online site that matches and connects enlightened employers with highly capable and motivated women who want to do stimulating part-time flexible work so that they can also raise their children.
That was pretty good. That's a lot better than I would have done, let me say that. And essentially what you're doing is you're bridging the gap that maybe traditionally there were only two options for career women or people who had jobs or whatever you want to describe it. You either go back to full-time work with all the difficulties that brings, or you stay at home. And sites like 2to3days.com and the flexibility you provide is bridging that gap.
Yes, that's correct. So what would it be helpful if I sort of told you about the gap that I saw and how I...
Absolutely, please do.
Okay, so my background was I was a business coach for over 10 years, working with entrepreneurial businesses to help grow their profitability and the equity value. I'm also a mother, and I have an 8-year-old and a 10-year-old child, and I love working. But that working is just part of what I do. I love being a mother, and I love being a housewife. And when I was working with these entrepreneurial businesses and getting under the bonnet of what was really holding them back, quite often it was having great people in their business. And they would often say to me that we need somebody to do this role, but we don't need them full time. And often, even not even consciously, quite often the business owner would say it would be a great job for a mother. Simultaneously, I am a mother, as I just said, and I hang out with really capable women who have got pent-up frustration that they want to go back and work. They don't just want to be at home. Some of them find it quite lonely and boring and frustrating. And I was like, well, hang on a minute, who's connecting the two? So I did some market research, and very quickly you got the executive search companies who are only interested in full-time people with 100+ grand salary. And you've got recruitment, and then you've got online jobs boards, and you've got temping agencies. And when I looked at all of them, I was like, none of them is looking after this highly intelligent, really clever, motivated woman to go back to work. And she just wants to be respected and valued for the fact that she also does another really demanding job, which is looking after her kids. And what I found is that it was quite sort of anecdotal. It was sort of a dinner party conversation or chat at the school gate, that it was through friends of friends that these women would find their way back into work. And I thought, well, why don't I formalize it by creating an online coffee shop, a meeting place, so to speak, where employers can post adverts knowing in the foreknowledge that they're going to get these capable women and knowing that they're available to them anything other than full-time. And mothers can go onto the site knowing that there are really good jobs that they can do on a part-time flexible basis. So that's why I set it up.
Well, that's great. And I think that the most obvious thing that strikes me about the previous inflexibility was how much latent talent essentially, was going to waste. And because there are marketplaces like yours and companies that are thinking or able to provide more flexibility, there's a huge pool of talent that can now adapt with their new lifestyle. And that's essentially what you're doing. I mean, is it sector agnostic, the kind of companies that are wanting, or the kind of matchmaking that you're doing in this role?
Yeah, it is. I'll pull up. Give me 2 seconds. We have got, quite often people have said to us, why aren't you just drilling down in a certain vertical sector or part of the country? And, I've got a job that went on yesterday that's an account manager in a sales role in Scotland. There's somebody looking for a marketing manager in the IT sector in London. There's somebody who wants somebody in HR and recruitment in Avon. Accountancy 2 roles went up yesterday on accountancy in Buckinghamshire and Cambridgeshire, and a banking job in Essex.
So it really does cover a lot, everything pretty much.
Yeah, and the word's out there. There's some, what I have found that there are companies of all shapes and sizes that recognise that there is this hidden talent pool of women, and they just haven't had an effective means to go out and find them at the moment. The jobs are there. The jobs are there, and what the women need to do is to believe in themselves, fill out their profile, take a few moments it doesn't take long, or get some help to fill out a really good profile, because the jobs are there.
And you say the women need to believe in themselves. I mean, are there other points of resistance or issues that you've had in terms of getting people onto the platform?
From the mother, yes, I think you've got a range of mothers from. If you think of a spectrum from the highly transactional, that mother who's really focused, confident, she knows exactly what she wants to do. She wants to go and be a recruitment executive, or she wants to go back and do, some sort of banking role, or she wants to be a really good personal assistant, whatever it might be. And she knows she's got her head screwed on. She's really clear. Then you've got other women who have been out of the workplace for a few years, and they're lacking confidence. They're a bit lost. And so for them, they're desperate to do something, but they don't quite know what to do. And therefore, one of the barriers that we're finding is that they just don't know what to put on their profile. So they do need a bit more help.
And is that part of the 2 to 3 days service?
Yes, we've got a whole team of experts on our site, from CV writing to social media training to IT, career coaching, wardrobe advice, anything that mother might need some support in, so that she can be the best she can be to go out there and get the job. And she, we all know that if we need to invest in ourselves, we need to invest in our properties, we need to invest in everything if we want our lives to grow and prosper.
Yeah.
And so women, I'd encourage them just to take a bit of time. Just this morning, one of the mothers has got in touch with one of the CV experts because she wants her CV written. I know from when I did my research, I started to write my own CV. It was like War and Peace. It was the most big load of floffle out there.
Yeah.
And so I gave it to an expert. Within 24 hours, he turned my War and Peace fluff into the most compelling CV that made me feel really proud of what I'd achieved and what I was capable of doing. And that cost me 150 quid.
So any woman who's out there who's considering going back into the workplace, I mean, this is a site which can help all types in all types of sectors. They just need to get in touch with you and see what's required.
Yeah. And we're looking after, our primary focus is to look after SME businesses.
And are those, so I'm really interested, are those businesses as well? I mean, the whole era of freelance, you can now get freelancers on people per hour and all that kind of stuff. Are businesses much more attuned to this kind of way of recruitment, do you think, than they might have been, say, 5 years ago?
Oh, my gosh, yes, because everybody gets it. It's in the press the whole time. If we got this sector of women back to working, it would bring in £23 billion to our economy. People, 55% of girls leave each year with degrees from university, when it's 45% with men. 5 million women work part-time flexibly in this country. It's in the press every single day. Sheryl Sandberg's talking about it, Anne-Marie Slaughter, Hillary Clinton's ex-aide. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody knows that we have an issue, that we've got these highly talented women who leave corporate life predominantly because the culture doesn't support them to go back there and work, and they're sitting at home drilling their fingers on the table because they're frustrated. I was with a company last week who are based in the city who want to get 30 to 50 women on their books each quarter with ex-investment banking background to work for them on a part-time flexible basis. How brilliant is that? Because they want as they said, they want an experienced talent pool, because that's really compelling to give to their clients when some of their, as they said, I won't mention the names, but some of their larger competitors create another flexible talent pool, but they use apprentices and graduates, which require far more training. They want to get this group of women together, but who are motivated and gung-ho and have the experience so they can hit the deck running. And in response, what they'll do is say to them, we'll work together to work out your week, so it works for you and it works for us.
Well, I mean, I view, for the moment, I was introduced to 2to3days.com. I view it as a marketplace that's clearly fulfilling a required need. So, listen, thank you for joining us. And I mean, obviously, people can just get hold of you via the website direct.
Yep.
That's pretty straightforward. And that's the same for both employers and employees.
Employers and mothers.
Yeah, and mothers. Great stuff. Juliet, thank you again for joining us this morning.
Pleasure.
Wonderful. I'll be in touch.
Okay.
That indeed was the LawyerFair Daily Podcast. Thank you for listening. There will be more, hopefully, tomorrow with a little more sunshine in the sky. Thanks again.
Thanks for listening to the LawyerFair.co.uk daily podcast. If you'd like to listen to more, why not subscribe and download each episode via iTunes or visit us on the LawyerFair.co.uk website.